In recent history, I don't really remember any director or movie that has been discussed this much. And the unique thing about it is that it's quite the opposite of other controversial movies. For example, take a movie like Lipstick Under My Burkha, where the pushback primarily comes from the audiences, which is normal with most of the progressive movies, which intention is to push boundaries and talk about uncomfortable stuff. And it was liked by the majority of the critics. But in the case of Sandeep's movie, the pushback comes from the critics and the people within the industry. I have heard both sides from the people in the industry. Some say art is subjective and should not be censored, and some want the director to be conscious of the youth and the ideas his movie might propagate. And some, like Javed Akter sir, blame the audiences for accepting the movie. I don't know how Sandeep actually feels about the controversy surrounding his movie, but he might be proud of how much the movie has touched the nerve of various people. Because art is supposed to provoke or at least create some discussion. In my opinion, it's just a movie. And even if you censor those movies, people who are easily swayed will at some point in the future get inspired by another provocative art. Not just from India, but also from other countries or even from social media influencers. So, you will have to censor everything for that specific person, which is just ineffective. Now let's talk about Javed sir's ideas of hero, where he said a hero is made of.
आज जो इमेज है इसलिए कि जो हीरो की इमेज है वो कंटेम्प्रेरी मोरालिटी और कंटेम्प्रेरी एस्पिरेशन को मिलके बनती है। ऐसा सही है और ऐसा होना चाहिए। इन दोनों को मिला लीजिए, कंटेम्प्रेरी हीरो बन जाएगा।
But the problem is the movies have changed. If you look at the interviews of today's directors and writers, they themselves feel reluctant to call a character a hero or a villain. So you are already not advised to idealize a character, but just to relate to them in some ways and enjoy their journey. For example, in movies like Joker, I don't think there are any characters that are aspirational or portrayed as such. The movie can be just a story about bad people doing bad things and sometimes getting away with it, which was rare back in the days of Bollywood. Then after this, he goes on to blame the audiences because in his view, the people who actually made it a blockbuster are the problem.
गाने तो 6-7-8 आदमी मिलके बनाते हैं। चोली के पीछे क्या है, एक आदमी ने लिखा था, 2 आदमी ने कंपोज किया था, दो लड़कियों ने उस पर डांस किया था, एक कैमरामैन ने शूट किया था, एक कोरियोग्राफर ने उसे अरेंज किया था। 8-9-10 लोग हो गए। ये 8-9-10 लोग थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। प्रॉब्लम यह है कि गाना समाज में सुपरहिट हो गया था, ये करोड़ों लोगों को अच्छा लगा था। ये डरावनी बात है। हमें ऐसा लगता है कि एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी इस वक्त सिनेमा बनाने वालों से ज़्यादा सिनेमा देखने वालों की है।
Now, what I noticed is Sir tried to shrug away the responsibility of his peers by blaming the audiences. For me, I already believe that art cannot affect someone's personality to the extent that it will change. But even if it did, it's their own choice. But if you think audiences should be responsible, then the blame should go both ways. Now, what I want to do is to replace the word songs with drugs from his speech. Now let's see if the argument holds. A handful of people make drugs, one person creates it, 2 people package it, 1 person delivers it, and 2 people sold it. It's just a handful of people. These people are not the problem. The problem is that this drug became a super hit. Crores of people liked it. That is what is scary. Here, what I am trying to say is, if you think the content is harmful, then the both parties involved are to blame. And I don't even want to go into details about the scenes he talks about, because even I didn't like those scenes. But it is subjective, and the director has also given his interpretation of the scenes. And I don't really care. In my opinion, the movie was not that great that people are still talking about it. However, it was different from the most of the movies coming out today. Maybe that's why it is creating so much noise.